Hey fam, this is the kid, and I'm back with episode 4 of how to become a well-paid freelance writer. I think I might change the name of that every time I say it. It's not really solidified in my mind yet. I don't think it's snappy enough, but I think you know what I'm talking about. So I'm Sorrel Bryn, and I am a freelance writer. I have been for the last 12 years since 2010. It was August or September 2010, and I currently serve as the head of content marketing for a fancy agency here in Atlanta called The Shelf. We're an influencer marketing agency, and super dope. So I do spend all of my days with content, all kinds of content, social media content, books, ebooks, reports, lots of reports, lots of spreadsheets. But today I want to talk to you about building your business as a freelance writer. So you might be saying, like, we haven't even learned how to freelance write yet. Why are we learning about building your business? Because I don't want you to go off half-cocked, learn how to write, get your skill set up, and then you don't know how to make money for your business, and then you be like huffing and raw like, it don't even work. It do work. You just have to do things in the right order. Have to do things in the right order. So today we're going to talk a little bit about what is called business development. Beep, 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 beep. Business development is basically what it sounds like. It's developing your business. As a freelancer, a lot of what you will be doing, especially in the beginning, is just finding clients. And then once you find clients who are legit and like who make you happy and bring a smile to your face and give you interesting projects, then you're going to find ways to keep those clients happy so that you can keep bringing in clients that make you happy. So I'm going to share my screen, and this is going to be a short one. You might hear my kids screaming in the background. I'm trying to do as much as I can while they are outside playing with the neighbor kids, Ryder and Maverick and Landon and Ava and Yada. So here we go. Let's talk about finding customers and getting paid. Okay, that's me again. Different hair. You know how I do. All right, so we talked about, like, in 2 videos ago, we did like a walkthrough of Fiverr, Upwork, and People Per Hour, just to show you some different places where you can go to get freelance writing work. I want to make sure that we also cover the social medias and talk about how important like business development is to your day. So the greatest asset you have as a professional writer is social media. The fact that you are a professional writer, a freelance writer, should not be a secret, but it should not, for the love of God, do not make that the only thing you post online. Like, okay, don't do that. Like, nobody, a lot of times the people who are following you online aren't even gonna be your customers. So don't even think about it like that. But using a tool like LinkedIn. I don't know if you have a LinkedIn profile. I love LinkedIn. And over the last couple, I've been on LinkedIn since the beginning. So I remember what it was like. It was mad boring. And you had to basically jump through all the hoops, tell your whole life story, be prepared to sacrifice your kids through the fire and everything to just get the opportunity to connect with another person on LinkedIn. I mean, they were really, really making it hard to be a social network. Making it real hard, but it's not like that anymore. And LinkedIn is a lot easier to connect with people in your industry, or people that you went to school with, or people that you know or that you might want to know. LinkedIn makes a whole lot of recommendations for people that you should connect with. LinkedIn also makes recommends job opportunities to you. But in order for that to happen, you have to have your LinkedIn profile constructed in such a way, and it's nothing special. So I don't want to like throw you off by saying constructed in such a way. You have to make your LinkedIn profile complete. So if you have in your profile a whole lot of like all of your job history is about what you used to do that has nothing to do with freelance writing, you need to start looping in that freelance writing language, like, you know, things like putting your portfolio in there, or things like sharing articles that have to do with content creation and marketing and that kind of thing. Because really, freelance writers are always part of the marketing team. They're always part of the marketing team. And if they're not part of the marketing team, they're part of the product team. Those 2 things, like, you're part of the product team if you're writing a book that somebody's going to publish. You're part of the marketing team if you're writing on somebody's website or doing their social media or whatever the case may be. So those are the 2 like categories you fall under. So as far as LinkedIn goes, those are the 2 things that you should be talking about on the platform. Those are the types of people you want to connect with, the type of content that you want to be liking and sharing, because LinkedIn is just like any other platform. The algorithm is going to show you what it thinks you want to see. And so that ends up being, and LinkedIn is like, I know that LinkedIn is still trying to work out its diversity stuff, because before it had like, I mean, just like any other platform, it had diversity issues. So it's still, the algorithm still will still recommend Black people to me just because they're Black. I get it. I'm not hating on LinkedIn for that. I'm just glad we're showing up now. I remember when back in the day, 2017, I remember making marketing videos on YouTube, and they always, because I was Black with big hair, my videos only showed up with other hair videos. It was like they had like the algorithm had no idea what I was saying. Like the words that I was saying in the video had nothing to do with hair, but they always showed me with other Black hair care channels. So the social media platforms have gotten much smarter. The algorithms have gotten more sophisticated since then, so you don't have to worry too much about that. You will still see people in your feed just because y'all went to the same school, or just because you're the same ethnicity or whatever. But LinkedIn is a fantastic place for you to go and to establish your brand, build your network, showcase your work. And by that, I don't really mean have a portfolio on LinkedIn. I mean, drop links to the content that you do, any byline content that you do, not the ghostwritten stuff, but any byline content that you do, that you put on your website or that you do for your clients or whatever. Drop links to that on LinkedIn so that it can start showing up in people's feed, and they will know that you are a writer. Also, you want to make sure that your bio and your little tagline on LinkedIn says something about you being a freelance writer or being a content creator. LinkedIn is also a good place to go to see job opportunities. Just right on the right sidebar, job opportunities pop up there all day long, based on what kind of content, like based on what your profession is and what kind of content you post and what kind of hashtags you use. So LinkedIn is no different from Facebook and Instagram in that respect, but LinkedIn is considered a professional network. So it's really where you go to flex. I'm gonna just say that. It's where you go to flex. If you're looking for work, you can put like that little, they have a little frame that says available to work, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. But LinkedIn is where you go to kind of talk about yourself and do your business development thing. Facebook and Instagram are a little bit different. These two started off, of course, as social platforms, and then they're like the business aspect of it naturally got woven in because marketers, you know, like the old saying goes, marketers ruin everything. So Facebook, especially for creators of color or like professionals of color, Facebook is a place where you go to connect with other professionals. You know what I mean? Like to talk about your business. There are a lot of groups on Facebook. Like for instance, I'm a member of the group We Should All Be Millionaires, which is Rachel Rogers' group, you know, named after her book. So it's the place where like professionals and entrepreneurs and freelancers and like consultants and stuff is where we go to gather and talk to one another. And we also go there to gather and talk to our friends or whatever. Instagram, on the other hand, is a good place to find these professionals, because Instagram is the place where people dole out interesting and useful information in practical little sound bites, so that people can consume them, people and businesses can consume them. So when it comes to finding a professional who can help you, Instagram is the place to go. When it comes to talking to one another about how to do business, Facebook is the place to go. When it comes to flexing about your own business, LinkedIn is the place to go, okay? TikTok and YouTube are fantastic for video content, for creating short and long content. TikTok is great for visibility right now. You can literally put a post on TikTok and thousands of people will see it, and sometimes millions of people. If you can put a little bit of money behind it, $50 or something behind it, you can get some legs on it. Or if you hop on trends, YouTube is a great place to build an audience and demonstrate your expertise in a video format. It's the place where you can put a lot of strategy content. I know. I'm doing strategy content right now, and I'm on Facebook, but Facebook is where people are. So I don't have an audience on YouTube yet. So I'm trying to reach the people now, today, while they're hungry. But you can reach tons of people on both TikTok and YouTube, and you can grow your audience. Coincidentally, creating how-to videos on TikTok and YouTube is an in-demand service that you can provide as well. So that's good to know. All right, the best places to start getting experience on social media would be Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, because those are places where professionals hang out, and they are also places where professionals are paying attention to other professionals who are showing up in their feeds. Instagram is honestly, it's a place where people go to shop. Like, for instance, we're actively in the process at work of finding a PR professional. And you know what I asked one of our team members to do? Go on LinkedIn and go on Instagram and find somebody. Because if they're on Instagram and you can find them, look them up, and they show up under PR professionals, that means they're talking about their business and they're probably providing useful tips. So Instagram is a great place to find professionals, shop for professionals if you're looking for some. Another place, and we talked about this in a previous video, to start getting jobs and start getting experience are on gig boards like Upwork, Fiverr, Guru, Freelancer, and People Per Hour, Contently. And then also job boards, Indeed, FlexJobs, ZipRecruiter, Simply Hire, Career Builder. In my second video, when we were kind of going through and looking at the opportunities that were available in the market, ZipRecruiter, Career Builder, Monster, FlexJobs, like those were the companies that were showing like different jobs for companies that needed. Those were the publications that were just showing the different jobs from companies who needed content writers and freelance writers. And if you remember, like those companies included like Warner Brothers and Warner Media and Google. You know what I mean? Like, so these aren't just small no-name companies. Places where you can offer your services and get paid a pretty dime: LinkedIn, Upwork, and Fiverr. People Per Hour as well, but remember I said People Per Hour, sometimes they're specifically looking for for providers in the UK. So that one's kind of hit and miss, but LinkedIn, Upwork, and Fiverr are good places for you to start. Now, IPAs. One thing that a lot of people miss when they are starting out as freelance writers is that you have to invest time in IPAs, or what are called income producing activities. What are income producing activities? They are the one thing that's going to keep you making money. They're the thing that's going to keep your business running. They're the thing that's going to keep you in front of potential clients. And it's the thing that's going to kind of keep you motivated. IPAs include things like submitting proposals for writing gigs. And we'll talk about that, and I'll show you how to do it. Reaching out to new prospects at companies you want to write for. I will tell you that I have hired writers, and I have done partnerships with writers based on them sending me an email saying that they wanted to do a partnership or that they wanted to write for us. And I would say things like, hang on. I'll say something like, okay, send me a sample of your writing. And if they're good, then they get to, I'll hire them. As a matter of fact, like one of my top writers, the one I was talking about who has a flat rate with us, she reached out to me on LinkedIn and just said, I like your website. I like your blog. Are you guys hiring writers? And I was just like, show me what you're working with. And she was working with a lot. And so I think 2 or 3 years later, it might be 3 years by now, she still writes with us. So reaching out to new prospects at companies you want to write for is a good way to get on. I'm telling you, because a lot of times those small companies, they don't have time to look for anybody. And if you can like show up with a solution in hand, like, hey, I got you. You can, a lot of times you can get hired that way. The next one is searching professional groups for writing opportunities. Again, remember I told you about there are a lot of business groups on Facebook and like different communities, and then posting your own writing packages. Let me come back to this searching professional groups for writing opportunities one. Did I even put a slide up for that one? Let me see. I didn't, but Facebook has communities. Like there are groups on Facebook that solely exist to buy content from writers. I kid you not. I did this for a while. And a lot of them are like lifestyle blogs and like parenting blogs, that kind of stuff. And they're looking to buy something for really inexpensive. And the way that I would use it was for projects that went sideways, or if like a client ran out of money and couldn't like pay for the stuff that they had ordered, or if I've had instances before where a well-known website, a 1-800 website for dentists, ordered a bunch of content from me, never got it. They never got it. But the job was done through Upwork, so they had to pay me for it. Like that, there was an auto pay in place for it, but they never asked for the content. Like I was trying to give it to a lady and like blah, 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 like checking with her, and she never got back to me. The content never ended up on their website. So I ended up reselling the content. Like, what am I going to do with all this dentistry content? But I've also done that for health websites where something happens and like they don't go through with the project and you have all this content. And so I resell that, not resell, but I would sell that content instead of just having to sit in my drive. I would sell it in these Facebook groups, and it would be stuff on like the ketogenic diet or whatever the case may be. and they get purchased. Now, because the content is already done, or maybe the content was already paid for and the person didn't want it or didn't use it or whatever, I can just charge. I don't have to charge much for this content at all. So I could charge 25, $50 for the content and just tell them that they have an exclusive right to it. Like, exclusive right meaning that they're the only company that I will ever sell it to. Or I could tell them, like, or you have a semi-exclusive right, which means that I'm going to sell it to you, but I might sell it to one or two other brands, the same article. And there are groups on Facebook where you can sell content like buying groups. That's where they gather on Facebook to buy content from bloggers and freelance writers. So that part. Now, posting your own packages. This right here, this simple graphic, this simple message got me so much money. I mean, I had people, I was doing a book a week. So, like, let's say on a Monday or a Sunday, I would talk to the book author. We would do like a 90-minute conversation, or maybe 2 45-minute conversations, or 3 30-minute conversations. I would take the time to write the book, and they would pay me. This simple graphic on Facebook, I use it on Facebook because I ended up writing a book on Christian singles from a graphic that I did on Facebook. And I also put this one up on People Per Hour. And I ended up doing a book on mastering sales tactics. I did a book on opening a VA service. I did a book on marketing a dental practice. I was doing books like from this simple graphic. So when I say at the bottom there, posting your own writing packages, this is simple. Because at the end of the conversation, if they want, I could turn now, of course, I would be able to turn this into audio. We could turn it into a series of, it could be a book. We could turn it into a series of articles. We could turn this into a audio series. We could turn it into a bunch of social media graphics. We could turn it into anything. And this price of $1,000 would easily go up. It can be $2,000 or $3,000 when it's all said and done. And they're going to be happy because they'll get like a website and some articles and an ebook. You know what I'm like? Simple things out of it. And an ebook is not like a regular book. It's not like a 50-page book. A 50-page ebook it may be, let's see, like probably 10,000 words, if that. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to be much because it'll end up being about 200 to 250 words per page because it's an ebook and not a regular book. But yeah. I ran this for weeks when I didn't have money, and I just had back-to-back clients. Every Monday I had a new client. So these little messages like this, where you ain't got to beat people over the head, the people who needed this service and wanted this service and could afford the service, they reached out, they DM'd me. So that's what I mean about just kind of, let's see, what's the next one? Okay, cool. So when you post your own writing packages, sorry about this, it's been a while since I've been through this. When you post your own writing packages, you want to include what services you deliver. So in this case, it was a 50-page ebook. Include the price, simple, right? Right away if you can afford it. They don't even have to have a conversation with you to make a decision on this. Make it simple, right? A couple of words. Turn a 90-minute conversation into a 50-page ebook. And you're free to use this if you want. I'm not, this is not like a secret sauce or anything. And make it something you've seen a demand for. When you go into those groups, when you join these professional groups and you're paying attention to the conversations, you'll see where the demand is. Like I know for the groups that I'm in right now with Black women and with, I'm not going to talk about the Rachel Rogers group because it's a closed group. It's a private group. So I don't want to talk about anything that's going on in there. But I can see from different groups that I'm in for Black professionals or whatever the case may be, what the issue, like what issues people are having as it relates to content, because they'll put a call out like, hey, I'm having this issue with my writer. She wants to break our NDA. Like, has anybody run into this before? Or, hey, I need like somebody to do copywriting because like my copywriting is a little off. I've rebranded, blah, blah, blah. Can you recommend anybody? Or, hey, like, how do y'all get the writer? Like, how do you find writers that like my writer seem like he don't know anything about my business? Like, how do y'all fix this? And you'll be able to see what the issues are. And so that whatever their issues are, that will determine how you create a post like this, like what you do to create this sucker right here. Like, okay, so yours may not be turn a 90-minute conversation into a 50-page ebook. It may be something like, like just doing like branding messages, or you may do something like, put together a marketing a marketing automation flow or email flow for your subscribers to keep them engaged. It could be any number of things. And you don't have to have one service offering. You could have multiple service offerings to address the multiple issues that you see cropping up in these business groups that you're in. So I think that that's it for me right now. I hope that this has been helpful for you so that you can see that there are opportunities for you to make money as a freelance writer. And I'm going to show you the best way I can, like what those opportunities are and how to go about getting them done. I wish you well. I'm about to go tell my kids to come in because it's 8 o'clock. My street light is out. That street light is out, but that street light should be on. And when the street light's on, you know these babies need to come in the house. So I'm about to go get my kids. We're going to sit down and watch The Rise of Gru, and I'm not going to fall asleep this time. I'm going to stay up. So I got to do it now because I'll be sleeping about an hour and a half. I'll be like, I'm up. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful for you. Stay tuned. I will have more content coming. God bless you. Have a good weekend and good night.